It is, I'm just going to make a few extra videos just to sort of help you along when you're setting up your embroidery machine. So the first one is to get, so this bracket here, it raises up and down. So there's little holes there, and you use an Allen key to loosen those and tighten them. So what you do is you loosen it, and then there's 4 of them, so loosen all 4. Don't take them right out, just loosen them, and then you can flex this up and down, and then when you have your desired height, then just tighten it back up, all 4 of them, and then it'll stay nice and secure at the height that you desire. Okay, so I've lowered this down for shipping purposes. I only tighten 2 of the screws, or 2 of the bolts. So I tighten this one here on the left side. So this one here, and this one here. So this one as well. There it is. So that one there. So those 2 are tight. So if you just loosen those, this whole bracket will come up, and then tighten all 4. Okay, so on all of your hoops, every hoop that you have, you got four boxes of these green ones. So 4 boxes of these, and then you're going to have a whole box of the universal ones and some other program ones, but these are all of your frames here. And each one, so if I pick this one up, it's got it indicated as to which hoop it is. So this is hoop G, and then it tells you also the size, okay? So let's say I was going to use G in my machine. So I would go over to here, I would go down to select, then I would go into my, so it'd start off by going in and seeing if I have, so I have G already saved, preset. So G is right there. So you just, so there's G, and it's 45. You don't have to change anything, you just pick G, basically. So G, there's hoop G. I would pick that, confirm, and then it will rotate and it'll move your frame around accordingly. Okay, and then you don't have to do any centering at this point. These ones are preset. The only ones that you'll change are the ones that are universal, J and over. J is your universal hoop. Okay, so when you have presets, sometimes we've had to hide some of them from your, so when you choose here, some of these are actually preset, but they're just hidden so they don't take up as much memory. So what you do in that case, so let's say hoop A. So we've got hoop A here, but it's not in our frames list here, but it is saved, so we don't have to worry about inputting anything. So what you're going to do is go down to your frame edit. You're going to click on hoop A, then you're going to just unhide it, and then hit check mark, and then yes. And now it's actually set into your preset. So now if I hit here, there's hoop A there, okay? But when you have too many in here, it takes up a lot of memory on the machine, so we just kind of hide those. So I'll just go back and do that now and just show you how to hide it as well. So when you're in your hoop edit, you're going to go down to here, hoop A that we just chose. We're going to re-hide that again so it doesn't take up that memory, and then when we want to use A again, then we'll go back, of course, and unhide it again. So I showed you how to unhide it, and now we're going to hide it again to save memory, and then the next time we use it, we just go through that process again. So check mark, hide frame again, hit check mark, confirm it. It'll go back to here. So now when you choose your preset, here, A will be gone. And now it's just B, D, E, F, G, and big frame, cap frame. Okay, so one more time. We have M, and of course that exceeds J. So there will be no M. We got to actually go into here, and then we're going to select hoop J. We're going to unhide that. And then now we're in our universal. So now we're going to be entering M. So M is length 255, width 120. So we go to frame length 255, and then we go to frame width, and that's at minus, oh, that one's 120, so 120. And then check mark. So we got our frame and width, and now you got to put in your X and your Y. So each frame has the X and Y. So you put X58, so you just click on X, write in 58, check mark. And then this is minus 57. So you're gonna click on the Y, and then click 5, 7, and then just click the plus minus, and it'll put a minus beside the 57. And then click check mark. There it is there. It's unhidden. We've entered the frame, and now we just click check mark and check. It'll move the frame to the actual center of that, so you don't have to do any centering at this point. But if you do get new frames that other than the ones that you do have, in the previous video I show you how to center every frame. So you just go through that process, and you'll have your new frame. Okay, so when you're changing between caps and then beanies, you've got two different frames for that. So this is your beanie, and this is for your regular caps. You've got 4 of these total. So you could be setting up 2 while these 2 are embroidering. And then you get these 2 as well. So 2 different ones. You got one for cap and one for beanie. Okay, so if you're switching over from your regular frames, from one of these frames, or these frames, to your hat or your cap frame, okay, you're gonna have to do this. Before you can put the hat on it, you can take off your frames, take off the bars, okay? You can install this, so install these, just the brackets, before you clip the hats into place. You're gonna have to do this first. And then once you finish the process I'm about to show you, you'll be able to place the hats inside at that point, because it'll be centered to your hat and your cap and beanie settings. Okay, so I just set it back in a different position on purpose. So at this point, once you've changed the frame, you cannot get it into the actual compartment here until you change your settings to actually cap frame. So let's do that now. So it's on a different setting now. You could put these on now, okay? So install the brackets now for both of them, or just one if you're using one. And then what you do from that point is you go onto your screen here. You're going to choose your frame. So again, option 4, tab 4 at the top. Choose your frame size. Okay, and then you go to cap frame. And just make sure it's on your cap frame at 275/70. So 275/70 is your cap frame. If you changed it to beanie, it could be on beanie settings. So just make sure, so if that's the case, if you come into your presets and it's on beanie, you can just go back, go into your editing, and then go on here and go to cap frame, and then just change it back to 275 to 70 in here, and then it'll be 77 and 10. I'm going to show you that in a sec. So once that's set, so again, once you have that frame in place, before you can put the hat on, you're going to come here, hit cap frame, make sure it's at 275/70, click on it. So it could be on something else, just make sure it's highlighted, hit OK or check mark, and then it will move into the position to be able to put your hat on at that point. Okay, so again, you have 2 cap sizes. So if you're doing beanies, you'll just have to ensure that the length and width is at 64, and that the center is at 77 and minus 33. And then if you're doing caps, make sure it's at length 275, 70 in width, and your X and Y, 77 and 10. So let's go on to and do that now. So right now it's set in cap. So you're gonna go into your edit. And now on your edit screen, you're gonna just make sure that you have chosen cap frame so that we're changing the settings in cap frame. And then you're gonna do it, so let's say, so right now it's set to 275.70 and the X and Y is 77.10. So that's our cap size. So we're gonna change that to our beanie size, which is 98.64, 77 minus 33. So we're gonna go length and width, 98. So let's change that. So change it here, 98, check mark, 64. Click on that, change that to 64. And then you have to change your X and your Y to 77 minus 33. So it's already 77. So we just have to change our Y to 70 or to 33, sorry, minus 33. So 33. Then hit the plus minus to put the minus, and then hit check mark. And now these are our settings for our beanies. So when you put the beanie frame in, when you have your beanie frame in, this will be the setting that you're gonna have it to. And then of course you're gonna hit the check mark, you're gonna accept that, and then it will move and adjust your bar to where you can actually put on this frame. But we're gonna go back to our hat frame because when you receive this, you're gonna have the hats in and it'll be on hat frame already. So let's set that up now to hat frame. So I'm gonna go over to here. I'm gonna make sure it's on cap frame. And then I'm gonna set my length and width, 275, 275, check mark, by 70, 70 check mark, my X and Y. So my X is 77 and my Y is 10. So I just changed the Y to a 10, check mark. And then after you have those settings, hit check mark and it will move the bar again into your cap position. And then you can put your caps on. And that's it. Okay, I'm gonna turn this puppy off and prepare her for shipping. So once you got it all set up, you're just gonna plug in, and this is your on and off button. So we're gonna turn it off, package it up, ship it to you, and you'll be the next one turning the on button on. Okay, so here's sort of a rundown on what you'll be receiving with your embroidery machine. So we've got here the hoops and slash frames. These are all the third-party ones. And then you have 4 sets of the green ones. You're gonna have some backing, a roll of backing, ruler, got some stabilizer here, different sizes. So this one here, these ones here are for like shirts, and then there's a thicker one, a little bit thicker of one for hats. And here is your hat. So this is what you're going to put your hats on to get them in place. So you put the bracket onto there, and then you're going to place your hat before it goes in the embroidery machine. It makes life a lot easier. We've got some bobbins here. That's a box of bobbins. You have a complete set of colors on here. So what I've done is, so we've got 2 of each color on here, one here, one here, and then I've sent you a complete extra roll as well. So one color of one extra roll of each one of those colors there. So that's a box of that. You've got your 2 beanie frames here. You got your 2 hat frames here, and then of course you have your 2 other hat frames here as well. You've got your bars here for your frames that go on. So there's 2 in each pack. So those are your frames. Those are your bars for your frames or your hoops. You're going to receive a toolbox. It has your power cord in it. It's got an extra belt and some tools and some little extra parts as well in there. And that comes in 2 parts. So that is there with some screwdrivers. And then to assemble it, all of your assembly nuts and bolts and pieces of rubber for the bottom there for friction are all inside here as well. So that'll be inside, and it'll be somewhere on here when you open up your crate, as well as the instruction manual. So in here is all the details, of course, in an instruction manual for your embroidery machine. So that is primarily everything you're going to get with it. And of course the assembly pieces, you got your 2 legs, you've got a back piece here. Instructions come on how to assemble this as well. And then it comes with 3 other parts here that are used as brace brackets. And then there's another piece here as well. And there's instructions on how to install that come with it as well. And that's pretty much it. Oh, I'm not gonna send you that. But yeah, so that's it. And that's where you put in your USBs when you have them. So you can either, keep them in there, and you can choose your artwork off of your USB, or you can load it in. I think you can load up to 800 images or something in there. So either one. So, but when you're running, I think when you're running it with the USB, so if you're running from USB, you got to leave it in while it's embroidering. I'm not sure if you can pull it out. But either way, you got room for 800 on this machine. And just ensure, so if you're embroidering on both, ensure that these are both toggled to on and green. If you're just using one and only one, just turn this one off, and then just make sure this one's on and green.